I don't believe that creation is something that we start. I do believe it's something we return to again and again. Everything in life moves in cycles. There's expansion and contraction, then there's silence and rebirth, to then coming back to expansion again. Nothing truly begins and nothing truly ends. It just changes forms in a continuous and cyclical movement. Creation is simply reflection of an invisible movement that actually is always happening within us. It's always there. I've been told so many times in my life who I'm supposed to be, how I should live, what fits, what doesn't. And for such a long time, I tried to belong inside these brackets, these definitions. But my experience of myself was kind of always different. I don't experience myself as a fixed unity or identity. I experience myself as rather fluid and movement, as a process, as something that is constantly becoming. Yes, I am an artist, I'm a woman, a mother, and a seeker, and so many other things. But of course, I'm all of these. But rather than having them as separate roles, I see them as belonging to one continuum, as a process of becoming. And the way this has changed within me is that I'm not really interested in defining myself anymore based on roles. I'm interested in expressing what is alive within and around me. As a child, I grew up in India, which for me was truly like heaven. There was freedom, there was so much spirituality, I was truly immersed in nature. There were, of course, a lot of contrasts around me, living side by side. So there was extreme poverty and richness, silence and chaos. Already this reality made me focus on contrasts, on how I realized how they're part of life. Later, I moved to very different worlds where there was more structure and rules and rigidity, expectations. This was really hard for me at first when I experienced it, but then I began to understand what separation and judgment and limitation truly meant. These contrasts were kind of shaping me from one extreme to the other and realizing what truly life is. And just like in my paintings, where light only exists because of dark and shades, I became more curious about these extreme contrasts. I realized how nothing meaningful is created without them. Physical life cannot exist without the contrasts, without these contrasts actually creating new realities, existences, forms, new life. There was a moment in my life when I had to choose between safety, staying safe, and my dreams. I was truly young then. And I was alone in a country that wasn't mine. I was afraid. And I had to choose between staying in the secure position or launching myself into the unknown. Then I chose security. It was more important for me. Back then, I then buried my dreams so deep that, in fact, it wouldn't even come out and question me anymore. And then there was a lot of years of silence. Years without creating at all, without any colors, without listening to my inner movement or this feeling to create something. What I felt actually wasn't even pain. It was rather a numbness. And that for me was worse than pain because it's kind of like a disconnection from life itself. It was really like hell. Because in a way, pain still speaks. It points you somewhere, whereby numbness is when you forget to listen. Creation actually didn't return dramatically in my life. It came actually truly quietly, with whispers and subtly forming itself into my life. And through small steps and small works, very unnoticeable, it started to come back. At first it felt insignificant compared to the depth I once knew, but those small gestures and steps were everything. Because creation doesn't work from the outside inwards, it actually works from the inwards. It starts inside. I didn't return as an artist. I returned as a student of my own life. And slowly the emotions came back, and with emotions, pain returned as well. But this time, this pain, this strong emotion wasn't an enemy anymore. It was a signal, and it was moving me. Because movement is energy, and energy is movement. What I create on the canvas is the same process I live in my life. There's chaos, mess, form, dissolution, and then transformation, and then dissolution again and again. What happens inside us happens in the world as well. We are the microcosm in this whole universe, in the macrocosm. Creation is not a talent. It's a universal process, though. It's how life forms itself. And when we stop creating, we don't just stop making art or other creative activities. We actually stop participating fully in life. Art, creating, is not separate from life. It is life itself. I don't follow strict rules when I create, for sure. I don't force the work to become something. But what I do is I listen. I allow the painting to guide me instead of trying to control it. And this is also how I live. Listening to my inner guidance, taking the step or turn, listening again, and then taking another step again. Beyond systems and patterns, beyond the boxes and beyond expectations. Art for me is not about producing something beautiful, but it's rather about allowing the deeper essence of what life is to come forth and become what it needs to be, allowing it to bring itself into form. What I've learned is this, though. You are never late for anything. You didn't fail, and nothing in you is wasted. All is a becoming. What feels sometimes like hard times and breaks and blocks is often about more integration, and what feels like darkness is often transformation. Creation doesn't ask for perfection, but it does ask for your presence. If something in you wants to be created, then just listen. It will not ask for your permission again and again. It really doesn't need your certainty. It will need your honesty and your presence to what wants to come out and flow. Creation continues just like life, and so do you, since you are life itself.